Hey there, good people. Good morning from Dhaka, Bangladesh. Welcome back to the channel. And this is a Morning Thoughts episode. I'm going to share a few things that I really want to share. This is not a fragrance-related content, so if you are looking for one, you can skip the video, no problem. I'm going to talk about something very important in my life I can relate to, because I'm in my 40s, okay? And it's no more young days. It's no more the days I could say that, I'm feeling athletic today. Let's go play a football match or a cricket match. No, those days are gone. But I want to talk about like what happens, when people don't want to accept, their aging, or they don't want to accept the reality that, yeah, we are officially getting, old, or we're already there, Sometimes, there is like two sides of the story. So I'd like to talk about that, okay? And I'll give you some example, which I found it very sad. This is based on one recent event that took place. If you do not know, by the way, sorry, scent of the morning, I was wearing like Dunhill's London, but now I sprayed M-Wash Boundless while I was doing the video. Very beautiful sweet cinnamon tobacco fragrance. Okay, so yeah, so I was saying, recently there's an event where one of our neighboring countries, India, they have a lot of celebrities, movie stars, like Bollywood is a big industry. So there was this recent event which was very sad and sudden. That is one of the girls, her name is Shefali. She was, I think, featured in this song called Kata Laga. Long time back when we were in university, we watched it. It was very ahead of the time. It was kind of naughty and all that. So she was like very popular. She got a lot of fame, but later she couldn't, catch up with the rest. Okay, but what happened was she was not very well physically because she had some health conditions. Okay, and she tried her best, to stay fit, and then yoga, and then very good lifestyle, and she had very happy life with her husband. Recently, she passed away at 42. And what was the reason? They said cardiac arrest or heart attack, something like that. And when I read the news, I thought at first it's like, usually this kind of news are not really always trustworthy, because they can be like, just for spam and stuff. But then suddenly it got confirmed, and it was so sudden, like there was no sickness. Before she reached the hospital, she, passed away. So we were waiting for the full report. And we're not waiting, but I just want to see what happened, because recent times, lot of, stars, they passed away at very early age, like 40s mostly, okay? There was this other TV actor, Siddharth, okay? There was KK, there was so many, some of them were having disease, but many of them, they just suffered a cardiac arrest or heart attack. So this number is increasing, and it obviously came out that she was doing something like a treatment for anti-aging. And anti-aging medicine, when you take, it supposedly help you to hold, your beauty, your skin, your natural fresh look. And, at 42, she was, for 42, she looked very, very gorgeous. So we all know that, people do, when they have money, they do surgeries, Botox and all that artificial thing. And I always am against it. I don't have any hard feelings about it, but always against it, because to stay in showbiz or stay popular, on the media, and then stay, let's say you are the sex symbol or something like that in the, the industry or your social media, and you really want to hold on to that for a very long time. Some people do it so well, they work so hard, I have seen, let's say Malaika Arora in India. She is much older than me. She's, I think, now around 60s, right? She's going around 60s. There is other singer, J-Lo, Jennifer Lopez. She is like 59, right? She's approaching 60. When you look at them, Beyonce and all of them, they're not just performing. Like, the song itself is not enough. I'm seeing a lot of these singers in India also, Jonita Gandhi, and even my favorite, what's her name? The singer, okay, what's her name? I forget the names. Anyway, if I remember, I'll say. But alongside their song, they try to have that image, this dance, there's nothing wrong with it, by the way, like to be happy, sexy, youthful. But when you try too hard, it looks kind of odd for the age, okay? And for guys, guys age like fine wine, they say, but guys, you can see there's no makeup. Some guys do some surgeries to, make their, this facial shape, whatever, but not much. Guys, you don't see like put filler and their dark face and all. But, this artificial thing, what it does when you weight lift, you take steroids, supplements, these are not natural. Some people have that body, I wanted to have those muscles, six pack and all that. I try to do cardios nowadays, but the workout just for arms a little bit, but to get those shape and massive muscles, you cannot have those naturally. And what happens is, until one point, you look so good, you are the best shape of your life. Suddenly, if you don't have enough, like let's say you have too much muscles and it's like contraction inside, if you don't have enough oxygen, and you're doing workout, suddenly you can suffer a cardiac arrest or something. That is very unpleasant. And most of the reasons why it happens is that fakes, like the supplements, the steroids, and then the abuse of certain stuff, smoking, as well as taking those medication that is supposed to help you to stay young. I'll tell you why you have to stay young. I mean, like looks, I think it matters to women, the body image, face. Guys also is important, but not as much. Guys mostly live on their work, okay, like their reputation, their work, their career. And sometimes they do take care of them, but some people don't. They just age very drastic, okay. And I used to be very young once, okay. In 2016, 17, I didn't look this old. Suddenly the work stress, personal life stress, the relationship itself. I think I went through so much in such a short time, and within 4 or 5 years I got so old. But I don't have any issue because I can reverse this, okay. If I don't have like too much sugar, negative lifestyle or bad lifestyle, and I eat okay, clean, I do some workout or sweating every day, I feel better. But I don't want to look like 20 anymore because I accepted it. There was a time I woke up one day and I felt my knees are not supporting me, from getting up from the bed. You feel knees get weaker, because of due to lack of vitamin D's, I think, I don't know, calcium and stuff, right? So because I don't have a balanced diet, right? So you have to take supplements and all. But after a certain age, even if you're the most athletic person, I used to be a cricketer, I used to be the most fit and energetic guy, back in even my 30s. But what happened at 40s, man, it really got me, like, sometimes there's back pain, sometimes you don't want to get up from bed. These are normal. Sometimes it's depression, but sometimes more or less it's your body, right? So if you do not accept it, you say, no, I don't accept, I don't agree with nature, I don't agree with God's plans, I want to be young forever, I want to show them. What happens with guys, they can do exercise, they can be a little bit better shape, if they are good shape, they can continue for much longer, they are much stronger. But women, one time, if their whole plastic surgery and Botox, they will start showing, I have seen actresses like Katrina Kaif, she was very beautiful and she ruined it with her plastic surgery, Anushka Sharma. So maybe they think they look beautiful, okay, like Vani Kapoor, they'll think they look beautiful, but when you look at their faces, like that's not natural, that's like not really like anything real, anything that's plastic, that's like they put in and they make them look bigger and everything, maybe to them it's important. But I really, really appreciate when people are their natural self, and they are Kate Hudson, I love her, she's amazing, she's not bothered about her anything else, like, whatever she is, she's very graceful and beautiful. And I like when they accept who they are, how they look naturally, God gave them. Maybe they go through some stuff, but more or less they don't try so desperately. So what happens when you try so desperate to stay young and you don't want to accept the fact that now you're 40s, especially your 40s, man, that's no longer young. After 35, the downfall starts. It's not just your physical well-being or physical self that people look at, but let's say you're trying to act like 20s at your 40s. You think, okay, I'm going to date someone much younger and they're going to make me feel I'm young. Inside maybe yes, we are, but outside, without them, we are still 40s. We are still now in the uncle or auntie zone, like where we're supposed to have kids and kids call us uncles and auntie. That's normal because at 40s, everybody's supposed to be by right. They're supposed to be parents, have children. So imagine you act very irresponsible, and socially you behave in such a way that only teenagers will behave because they are much younger, they don't know better. But at 40s, people expect you to be socially responsible. They expect you to be a little bit self-respectful, okay, like you respect yourself and you take yourself, the image, very important, your self-image very, very seriously. People look at you, like what you do. You behave like a bad boy at 45 or something, and you just act like, like who? Like, what's his name? Russell Brand. No, not Russell Brand. What's his name, man? That comedian with the long hair. You know, he's like, his name is what? Russell something, yeah? The long hair guy. And he's one of my favorite comedians, right? So, well, let me get his name. Hold on. Yeah, I remember his name correctly. This is Russell Brand, that comedian now. He's older, but he's very, very funny. So I watched Forgetting Sarah Marshall. That's where I watched him first. He was funny AF, right? So this guy, he's kind of like a bad boy. He does, silly things. It's charming, but at the same time, if you continuously doing this, like not him, anybody, and you already have, let's say, children, and we have some actresses in Bangladesh who are like 40 something now, but they dress so inappropriate. I am judging, okay, because they have grown-ups like 17-18-year-old children, and they see what their mom's doing, and even the dads what they're doing. So the whole thing, like how it impacts on their children, they don't really care, and their children will also grow up watching their mother or father like that, irresponsible, reckless lifestyle, drunk, and out of control. You will think like this will have no impact. You don't think, because you are like, I don't care, I want to be happy. But in the long run, the next generation who's going to be adult, they're never going to respect you. They're never going to ever love you. They're never going to think of you as role model. Even if you pass away, sadly, they will not think of good things about you. Maybe they will miss you once in a while, but once they think like their mother or father was of bad character, or they were not really pleasant people, they're selfish, they just all worry about their image, how they looked, but they didn't care for children, like providing their food, their time, like caring to listen to them. So these things are important, even if you're single, I am single myself, but when I look out, like there are a lot of children, there was a time when I was, let me give you an example. When I was my 20s, 30s, I was, looking, like sometimes when you just go out and, like there are women, obviously there's natural attraction, and you look, when there's beautiful women. Nowadays, I think first thing, like these children out there, they are young, they are Gen Z, 16, 17s, 20s. And even if, let's say, they want to flirt with you, it happens, right? You have to think like, okay, I am 44 and it's important that I act my age. It's not an absolute must, but it's better, okay, to have the respect. More so than anything, you might have those, like, let's say Charlie from 2.5 Men, right? Charlie Sheen. If you live their lifestyle, he was one of my most favorite characters. Of course, I am a little bit naughty guy, but I love Charlie Sheen. His one-liners are the best, and that series was one of the best. But that lifestyle gets you women, drunk and all that, but you wake up one day all old, wrinkles, and you're lonely. Then you try to look for women to get married to. You'll not find a life partner, right? So there's always some give and take, like, or like you get something, you lose something, right? So I think it's important, if you're lucky, you'll find the right person. You already have a good family and they're your support system, and you don't have to worry about doing all the stupid things, going out there, trying to impress women and all that. So the difference between 20s, 30s and 40s is this, like how you carry yourself, okay? Even if you want to do so many things, you shouldn't, okay? Because when you are seen in public, if someone sees you like, oh, he's acting like a brat at 40s, people will make fun of you. People will not respect you no more. So this whole idea of anti-aging, everything is very sad that people lose their life. At the same time, if you lived a natural life, let's say you have a natural demise, it's much better, less painful, or, even for your family, because if you had something unusual, or let's say a disease like cancer or something, that is very different, okay? But because the stuff that you did to yourself, and you ruin your face, your looks, and your health, that compromise, why would you do it? You spend so much money to shorten your time on the planet, right? So I all have good intention making this video. I don't want to blame anybody or point finger at any disease. I just really wish that people knew better, okay? You cannot remain young all your life, okay? That's very, very obvious. Like when you're 44, you're 44. Don't, oh, sorry about that, yeah, honking very hard. So if, let's say, you are trying to stay 20 all your life, you're trying to have the charm, you're going to lose your body, you're going to lose your fitness, you're going to lose, like everything, like about you. And one day you're not going to be here, and then all this social media post, all the stuff that you did and you ran after, and you try to make this attempt, to make yourself look hot and all that, people are not going to remember you, okay? and you don't want to be remembered like that as well, because those are the things that is important: money, fame, looks, having fun, good time. But in the end, it will come down to this person, and inside, when you will not have so many friends, you will not have so much limelight, let's say you're not going to have so much work, let's say you used to be a model, okay? And I keep saying more women because guys are less concerned about the looks and stuff than women. Women have to put makeup, foundation, a lot of things just to feel they're looking all right. Most of the time you see them without makeup, they don't look the same, okay? And it's obvious, isn't it? Like most of them, they want to look like, represent something they are not. On social media, they take a picture and you see that picture and you're like, wow, she's so gorgeous with the beautiful eyes, okay? But you see them in real life, they're very simple looking, they don't have that big eyes, they have pimples and all that. I'm okay with that as long as it's like like we guys don't appear with makeup and all those, like we look like certain, like let's say Andy Garcia, and we just turn out when you just like in the reality we look like something else, like a beast or something. So for me it's like a deal breaker sort of, right? Because we deserve to see the person, like who they are, not just inside, outside as well. I mean, like, what is this insecurity, So when I talk about this, many people, they bash me like, hey man, you're not supposed to talk about women's stuff, these are like feminine stuff, and female rights, you shouldn't go there. I go there because when you judge me for what I do, how I am behavior wise, I am certain way I am, right? But I get questions, so why not question, right? So I hardly meet people who are focused in the inside, like their depth, the personality, they want to talk about real stuff. Rather than that, we see more of people talk about money, how much they have, how much they made, their iPhones, their new car, where they traveled, oh, the food pictures they take, Instagram, everything. It's all social media. There's nothing in real life, They are perhaps depressed, at night, they're lonely. So I don't think that's very happy life, if you are depressed. That girl, Shefali, she was apparently depressed, because of her career or the health issue. There was another actor called Sushant Singh Rajput. So he was also a very famous actor, but he was depressed with the fact that he couldn't be the top, actor, one of my favorite actors easily. So what I'm trying to say is, if you're not happy, inside, sometimes depression gets you really bad, and it can even get you to, have a severe heart attack as well. Sometimes when the heart breaks cause heart attacks as well. I heard that. So I will tell you, man, if you are going towards that age and you're feeling like, especially if you're a lady, don't worry about your looks. If some real guy, you don't need validation from all the douche out there, all the guys who are mean, you want to look good for them. Look good for yourself, great, feel good, be happy, go out, do whatever you want. But in the end, if a real person, if you want to get attention from a real good person, they will appreciate your kindness, how good of a person you were, how real person you were, not a fake, and also like how you treated them. These are all important things. And lastly, I would say, maybe if you have children, how you did as a parent, these are the things that will remain in the end. And you'll feel so much satisfaction that I have my support system and I am loved for who I am inside rather than how I look. Let's say Malaika Arora, she can look hot, man. She looks hotter than most of the girls out there, right? But in this yoga pants and walking and then, showing the body, and she has this elder son. How do their children look at them? And, like they're dancing to make money, Nora Fatehi. And then, I mean, for me, it doesn't make sense. If you want to be happy and rich, that's your goal, that's great. But if you have children, man, this just looks wrong, Or let's say at 60-year-old, you are dating someone like 17-year-old. Because you have fame, you have money. I mean, to each his own, but I feel in the end, maybe if we just all age gracefully, we accepted it, and we behave also like a little bit responsible, because we have certain responsibility. We have to teach younger generation something. If we are not good role models, what are you going to teach? And they're going to watch us, and then if, let's say, if we are the bad examples, and we say, hey, to our children, hey, why you're doing this, why you're going out with the date, they will say, you did the same, you're worse, I learned it from you, right? So these things will actually be bad. So sometimes it's not really flashy, and it's not also very exciting, but good life are not supposed to be that exciting. Good life is supposed to be boring, something you come back to home, your husband or your wife, and a day in, day out you work, and then, spend time with family, going out, shopping together, Nowadays, you see that foundation of family is falling very, very rapidly. And I was saying in the beginning, dating became so difficult, or meeting someone became so difficult, because nowadays it's all about just one spark or one reason to find a fault in man and blame them and start fighting and arguing, and then trying to find a fault in them. People don't want to be happy. People don't seek happiness. People seek unhappiness, reason to be a feminist or a male hater, egoistic guy. If you have that ego issue and you already have evil intentions, you're not going to end up with something sweet. You're not going to end up with something that means a lot to you and you can go to that place to be happy. There's everything else except happiness. People are so desperate, like, it's just sad. There was a time I felt sad that maybe I got old and stuff, but now I accepted it, man. It's just so peaceful, to know who you are, what you want to do, what makes you happy. I like staying at home. Always when I'm out, I'm thinking like I can go back, I can make some food, I can order some food or watch a movie. That makes me so happy. So I'm not saying you have to do that. Go out there, do whatever you like, but act your age and act responsibly. Okay, that will really make a huge difference, and in the end you will not have as much depression that you usually go through, and you don't have to reach out for substance or other people, or younger people or something exciting. Those things will just finish you slowly, and it is like a fake life only, right? So seek for a real life, even if it's just with yourself. If you want to be a travel vlogger, you want to do something meaningful, you want to do a PhD, you want to be a lawyer or a doctor, be that, and don't have to show it to anybody. Just do it for yourself, and you look back in your journey and you feel much more satisfied and complete. That's it. That's about the talk I wanted to say. If you found anything unpleasant or something, I don't apologize for it, because I spoke my mind. I don't like to talk politically correct that much, because politically correct, most of the stuff is BS. You feel something towards someone, but you cannot say it because it might sound diplomatically wrong or something. But actually, if you did say the real stuff, that could be actually helpful, rather than you fill up someone said like, hey, you're so pretty, you look so hot, even if someone is like unhealthy, they're way overweight, and you don't fill up their head like, hey man, it's all about beauty within. No, you're gonna suffer a heart attack. You're gonna move so much. You're not mobile, like not mobile, or what do you call that? You're not really healthy. There's no way to encourage that. So I'm not saying body shame or something, but give a positive, advice to people which will actually help them. Okay, if you notice something bad, if someone is toxic but they don't know it, they're acting like very mature, maybe you can tell in a polite way, like, this thing maybe is like, if you're a real friend, tell them, like, this thing doesn't really have a good image on you. If they really think of you as a good friend, they will never misunderstand you. Okay, so be positive, try to be a better person. Most importantly, inside, if you're a better person, you will know everything, the right or wrong. It will be very clear. It will not be vivid. Okay, take care. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.